Good afternoon and welcome to Nutmeg Sports here on the HAN Network. Frank Granito and Donald Eng with you here the Monday after the Super Bowl. And a little tired today, Don, having to stay up for that one, but what a great game we got to see last night.
It was an interesting game. I feel bad for the Atlanta fans. That just had to be one of the most epic collapse you'll ever see. About 8 things that were all unlikely had to go right for New England to pull off the comeback, and they did.
And as much of a collapse as it was, you have to give credit to the Patriots. They went out there and won that game. Yeah.
I have to do no such thing. I disagree with you there.
But, I mean, it was an awesome way to end the season with a great championship game. But more importantly, it's championship season officially now in the FCX Dome. We had our first 2 winter championships with track and field on Thursday night and the cheerleading on Saturday. And we had exciting events, always fun when all the schools in the conference come together. And I thought the athletes were at the top of their game at the start of this winter season.
Yeah, the athletes were at the top of their game. The schools all come together. You have all these different fan bases all gathering, and it's a really fun atmosphere all around.
Track and field, Danbury dominating again, and they continued that on Saturday with the cheerleading. We were both at the cheerleading together. My first experience with the cheer competition, but it was a lot of fun to be a part of, and very cool to see the Hatters knock off Fairfield Ludlow, who won the last 2 championships.
Well, yeah, and you mentioned, Fairfield Ludlow actually was the first group to perform on Saturday at the cheerleading competition. And then after 2.5 minutes, I'm exhausted just watching that 2.5-minute routine. And then as the various schools go, they keep that energy level up for 3 more hours. It was really amazing.
Energy was through the roof the entire day. We also want to take a second, congratulate Connor Harkins of the Greenwich basketball team. Connor scored his 1,000th point on Friday night in a game against West Hill. He had been creeping closer and closer, end of the game needing only 4 points. It came about 3 minutes into the first quarter. He hit a 3-pointer to score his 999th, 1,000, and 1,001st point. So a huge accomplishment. It is the second player now we have seen reach this feat this season, Giacomo Brancato, Fairfield War being the other, but very well deserving. He's one of the best pure scorers in the conference, and we're very happy for Connor, so congratulations again to him.
Yeah, and it's especially impressive when you think that high school basketball players don't really play that many games, which means that really, if you're going to score 1,000 points, you need to start contributing almost your freshman year at the varsity level. So outstanding accomplishment.
It just shows you how great a career he's really had. It is Monday, Don, so let's start things off now with our Athlete of the Week winners and the Athlete of the Week nominees presented by Ortho Care. Let's go with our Week 4 winners, and first up is Christian Completaro of the Stanford West Hill boys ice hockey team. Completaro racked up 39 saves, earning a shutout in Stanford's 3-0 win over St. Joe's on Saturdays. It was the first victory of the season over a Division I opponent for Stanford West Hill, which has now won 5 of its last 6 games, improving to 7-4. They found themselves entering this past week first place in the West Division. Our girls' winner for Athlete of the Week in Week 4 of the winter season was Taylor Granito of the Fairfield girls ice hockey team. Granito scored a power play goal just 29 seconds into overtime, giving Fairfield Co-op a dramatic 3-2 victory over the New Canaan Rams. It was the first time that Fairfield had defeated New Canaan in its program's history. They trailed 2-0 in the second period before scoring 3 unanswered goals to come back and get the win. Fairfield currently sitting in 3rd place in the conference out of the 4 potential playoff spots. So congratulations to both Christian and Taylor. They are your Week 4 Winter Athlete of the Weeks. And now for our Week 5 nominees and the females in that category, let's send it over to Don.
Okay, for the girls, your first nominee is Bridget Charavalli of Danbury Track and Field. After winning 3 events at the FCAC West Divisionals, Bridget repeated the feat at the FCAC Championship meet, helping Danbury defend its conference title. Charavalli finished first in the 55-meter dash and the 55-meter hurdles and the 300-meter dash, so a triple win at the FCX. Emily Philippides of Greenwich Track and Field is your next nominee. She won 2 individual events and was part of a first-place relay for Greenwich at the FCAC Championships. She set a meet record with her time of 2 minutes 58.11 seconds in the 1,000-meter run, also triumphed in the 1,600-meter run. In addition, she anchored Greenwich's winning 4x400-meter relay team. Shania Osborne of Ward Basketball is your next nominee. She had a double-double in the Mustangs' 58-46 victory over Darien on Wednesday. Osborne racked up 12 points, 14 rebounds, also blocked 4 shots. Ward won its 7th straight game and now has 10 wins out of its last 11 games. Leah Zavadaro of Greenwich Track and Field jumped past the rest of the field at the FCAC Championships, winning the girls' pole vault with a final height of 11 feet 6 inches. The junior tied the meet record and beat the rest of the field by 3 inches on her way to the gold medal. And your final nominee is Danbury cheerleader Lexi Lucas. She helped the Hatters win an FCAC championship, defeating two-time defending champion Fairfield Ludlow by a score of 175.9 to 175.6. Lexi was the top scorer at the 2017 FCAC Cheerleading Championships and also was selected to the All-FCAC Cheerleading team for the season. So those are your 5 nominees. On the girls' side, for the boys, we go over to Frank.
Thank you, Don. Our first nominee from New Canaan swimming and diving team is Charlie Adel. Adel, a senior, won 4 events as the Rams knocked off defending FCAC and State Open champion Greenwich 97-89 Saturday night. New Canaan, now the last unbeaten team in the conference, is 8-0 this year, while they handed Greenwich their first loss. Adel won the 200-yard freestyle, 100-yard freestyle, and anchored winning relay teams in the 200 free and the 400 free. Jacob Camacho of the Danbury wrestling team is our second nominee. Jacob pinned his opponent at 120 pounds in 51 seconds, leading the Hatters on way to a 57-16 victory over rival Fairfield Ward. The Hatters improved to 9-1. They are now up to 11-1 since that meet. Sam Lambino of the West Hill basketball team scored a career-high 23 points to help save West Hill's season in their 65-60 win over the Greenwich Cardinals on Friday night. Lambino had 15 points in the second half, 7 in the fourth quarter as the Vikings clinging to the playoff race. Tyler Glean of the Trumbull Track and Field team pulled off a rare double at the FCAC Championship meet, winning both a sprint and a distance race. Glean finished first in the 300-meter dash with a time of 36 seconds and also won the 1,000-meter run with a time of 2 minutes, 33 seconds. Tim Kane of the Ward Wrestling program reached a career milestone with his 167th win, setting a new record for the Fairfield Ward program. Kane, a senior, went 5-0 during the past week, winning all 5 of his matches via pinfalls. And finally, Gunnar Granito of the New Canaan boys hockey program scored 3 times this week in wins against Trumbull and Darien. The sophomore scored twice to break the Waves back in a 4-1 Rams victory over Darien on Saturday. That is the second time the Rams have beaten Darien, a program that they have struggled against for the past 6 years. So those are the 5 boys nominee. Wrap up the 10 total nominees. Make sure you go online to han.network and vote for your Week 5 winter Athlete of the Week. Very cool. We haven't seen a lot of swimming or track up to this point, Don. Love that Lexi Lucas is in there as well representing the cheerleading, but when you look at the championship performances, it's really tough to pick just one as to who stands out as the best.
It really is. You know, as we continually say, just picking out 5 nominees is a challenge. Picking out just one is really a tough task. I mean, you have, as you mentioned, track and field winning 3 different meets. Emily at Greenwich winning other individuals, not 3 different meets, 3 different events. Emily winning 2 individual events, plus a lot of all the hockey that's been happening as we head into the championship weeks. Certainly a lot of very worthy nominees.
Championship mode in full swing now as we get ready for wrestling coming up this week at the end of the on Friday and Saturday. But before that, we're going to take a break. We'll come back and have highlights from cheerleading, track, and some of the hockey we saw this week, and all that next on Nutmeg Sports on the HAN Network.
While there's still a bite out on the water, most anglers have decided to stow the gear for the winter. Just because Mother Nature isn't cooperating doesn't mean you can't see the latest models of all your favorite gear. With 2 convenient locations, it couldn't be easier to get your fix of summer. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, or on the web, docshop.com.
Walter Stewart's Market is your destination for the best big game fixings. From our house-made fresh guacamole and dips to chili, chicken wings, pulled pork potato skins, risotto balls, and take-and-bake house-made specialty pizzas. Combined with a selection of the best craft brews, Stewart's is your one-stop big game shop. Stop into Walter Stewart's Market, conveniently located at 229 Elm Street in New Canaan, or order from our game day menu online at stewartsmarket.com.
Whether you're looking for the freshest seafood, the perfect steak, or want to share delicious appetizers, look no further than the Stone's Throw in Seymour. Chef Peter Hom has more than 30 years of experience creating original recipes in his American eclectic style. Our dishes are made from scratch with fresh, local ingredients that pair perfectly with a seasonal craft beer, a signature cocktail, or your favorite wine. When you visit our Riverside location, you'll feel like you're on vacation when you're only a stone's throw from home. Visit us on Roosevelt Drive in Seymour or at StonesThrowCT.com.
It's all about meeting goals this year, and Trinity CrossFit of Ridgefield has experienced trainers, top-of-the-line equipment, and a newly renovated space to help get you there. Offering more classes per day than any other CrossFit gyms in the area, we cater to all fitness levels. Our coaches have a combined 10 years of experience in CrossFit, and as competitors themselves, Trinity coaches can get you ready for competition in 2017. Visit our convenient location on Route 7, Danbury Road, or find out more at trinitycrossfit.com.
If you're watching this broadcast, you're not alone. The HAN network is available for 200,000 Connecticut cable customers on the Frontier network, and we've also reached 1.7 million viewers on our free live streaming sports, news, and entertainment broadcasts. To reach our rapidly growing audience, contact Advertising Director Jessica Murrin at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
Back on the HAN Network, this is Nutmeg Sports with Frank Granito and Donald Eng, Monday, February 6th. As we've wrapped up opening weekend of the championship month here on the HAN Network, and Saturday we were at the Wilton Zeoli Fieldhouse for the Cheerleading Championships, 20th Annual Cheerleading Championship. And before we get into the final tallies and the championship itself, Don, having the youth programs, JV programs, the unified teams, I thought that really put the entire cheerleading community on display in such a positive light on Saturday. It was my first time being around any of it, and you understand how important the growth of the sport is and these programs, and they are so connected from the high school level all the way down through the youth. I thought that was a very cool touch on it.
Yeah, you know, because you have these high schools and they bring their JV programs, they bring their youth programs, and it's just a continuity that just goes all the way through from the Pop Warner levels all the way through the high school levels. As we've mentioned before with things like wrestling, where it's kind of like a family thing, where and it's the same thing with cheerleading. You know, so you might watch your school play basketball or football or something, but people will tune in to watch cheerleading because they're fans of the sport, and that was clearly on display Saturday.
And you saw a lot of the football coaches from these programs were out in support, showing up. Johnny Marinelli was there, of course. Bruce Cunningham playing such a huge role in getting everything set up. When you got down to it, congratulations to the Danbury Hatters. They are the 2017 cheerleading champions of the FCAC. Danbury really put themselves in a position to win. Coming into this event, we talked about how does Fairfield Ludlow respond to winning 2 consecutive championships? What kind of a routine are they going to bring to the table, or do they get a little complacent? And in the end, talking with Amanda Soroyce, who helped us out so much, it was the difficulty of degree in Danbury's routine that proved to be the difference on Saturday morning.
And it was noticeable when you watched it. I mean, two of their stunts, they missed a little bit, but the energy that they had from start to finish, it was remarkable. Even doing the post-routine interview 3 minutes after, and the kids are still trying to catch their breath. It was remarkable to see just how they could maintain that level throughout the entire performance. Just that kind of high energy, well deserved by Danbury.
We have a look at that winning performance now. Let's show you Danbury's championship routine from Saturday's FCX Championship on the HAN Network. mentioned right there, Don, you could see not congratulating each other. They thought they had lost that competition off those 2 stunt falls, but again, watching this for the 3rd time now, seeing that routine, the degree of difficulty through the roof, they were so strong from start to finish. And the biggest thing we learned from this past weekend, when there is that hiccup, it's the team that's able to respond and finish the routine that is going to come out on top.
Right, and obviously the most visible portion of the performance is the stunts, and 2 of them they did miss on. But then when you watch it again, and for me, I'm watching this for the 2nd time, you see just how on point their tumbling was, how strong that was, how in sync they were on the dance and cheer portions, and when you add into that the degree of difficulty, that was overall the best performance we saw on Saturday.
They only lost 4.5 points to deductions, and when you think about 2 partner stunts falls, that's not that damaging. But again, so in sync with the dance portion. The tumbling was phenomenal. They finished with a score of 175.9. Ludlow right behind them, 175.6. Only lost 1 point to deduction, and you had that feeling Ludlow was very complacent with their routine. They had to go. They were going first. They knew they were setting the stage for everything, and I think they believed if they could have a clean routine and set the standard like that, they'd put themselves in a good position to succeed.
Right, and when they were announcing the awards, it seemed to my eye anyway that Ludlow they thought they had won, and I thought they thought they'd done the cleanest routine. But again, not the most challenging. That went to Danbury, and as you mentioned, Danbury, despite having 4.5 points deducted for the falls, managed to eke out the win by 0.3 of a point. So that was the difference, was the degree of difficulty of the routine.
And I am just as guilty as Ludlow of assuming they were going to win. I thought it all day long. Amanda and I were talking. You didn't really see a bad performance at all from any of the schools that participated, but there wasn't a performance that jumped off the page and really made you think that's a championship routine. Danbury's was great, but you got the sense because Ludlow was so crisp with theirs, any small mistakes were going to be the difference between first place and second place.
You did get that sense. Danbury had that sense. If you watch, all competition long, when they win their routines, you see the hugs and as they run off the court, they run off the mat. You did not see that with Danbury. You could tell they didn't think they had done their best routine, and they hadn't. But it was the best routine of the day.
Be really interesting to see where they end up in states with a similar routine, we assume. Ludlow doesn't go home empty-handed. They took first and second in the partner stunts. Ludlow team number 1, a score of 30.7. Number 2, a score of 30.6. Trumbull was in third with 30.4. For the co-ed program, Stanford's reign has been ended. Norwalk with a huge win, 138.1 their score. Congratulations again to the Bears. And of course, thank you to Amanda for all her help. We were very excited to see they had won. We found out before Amanda did, Don, the final results, and it was a very difficult 45 minutes to an hour keeping that secret from her.
It was difficult, especially considering she didn't want to know. She wanted to find out when her team found out, so we were having to pass things back and forth behind her and things like that. But it all worked out well. You had to really feel for the Norwalk kids also. Having a program last year that only had 11 cheerleaders, 8 of them freshmen or newcomers to the sport, coming back this year, much more experience with an influx of new talent, particularly with some of the boys and their tumbling routines. So that was really great to see also that Norwalk had just come so far from last year.
And we saw that Norwalk team earlier this winter when we went to Norwalk High for the holiday tournament for basketball, and we saw them practicing. And that mentality of demanding perfection and the work ethic that was necessary was instilled from their coaching staff, who did such a great job, why they were elected the coaches of the year as well. The biggest takeaway for me, Don, before we go to break again, and you know better than I do getting to interview all of these girls, the toughness on display by all the competitors on Saturday was just beyond belief. Yeah,
it really was. We had, as Amanda mentioned, one of her boys from Norwalk was a 2-sport athlete. He plays baseball and football. After a week of cheerleading practice, he had to miss a week because he was simply so sore he could not he could not practice. We saw cheerleaders do not 1 but 2 performances with damaged ribs. Walking off the mat, having to be helped off the mat, and then 20 minutes later doing another performance, and then a Trumbull cheerleader that did 2 different tumbling routines despite having gashed her forehead just a few minutes before going on the mat. So we know they can be graceful, but they also can be tough, and they can be strong, holding each other up in their little stunts.
A newfound respect for the girls after the championships, but congratulations again to Norwalk and Danbury, your co-ed and ladies champions for cheerleading. Don and I are going to take one more break. When we get back, we have got the indoor track championship highlights for you, along with some hockey highlights and other news from around the conference from over the weekend. That coming up next on Nutmeg Sports on the HAN Network.
Want a new experience in car buying? No aggravation, no confrontation, just answers to all your questions. Scap Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Car buying the way you want it to be. With one of the largest selections of new 2- and 4-door Jeep Wranglers available, we are Connecticut's Wrangler headquarters. Located in Fairfield, Connecticut, we're easy to get to. Just 2.5 miles off the Merritt Parkway, exit 44 via Route 58 South. Save thousands right now during the Start Something New sales event, now through January 31st.
Have a sports injury or slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist fast, without an appointment. Basketball, hockey, skiing, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care, open Monday through Saturday, now in 2 locations. The iPark Building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk and 36 Old Kings Highway South in Darien. Or go to coastalorthoexpress.com, like them on Facebook. Discover a world of wellness in the heart of New Canaan. Halo Studios, New Canaan's first collaborative wellness center, offers you the freedom to choose from the best and latest health, fitness, and wellness options. Inside Halo Studios, you'll find all the wellness experts you need at places like Halo Fitness, Priority Wellness, and Sama Yoga Center. Come by for a free wellness assessment, open 7 days a week at 45 Grove Street. For more information, visit halostudios.com or call 203-594-9909.
Are you ready for winter? Ski and Sport has everything you need to be fully outfitted for the season. A family-owned and operated business with over 40 years of experience, Ski and Sport's 3 convenient locations in Fairfield County offer top-quality, high-fashion ski and winter wear. In addition to clothing for men, women, and children, we also offer seasonal rentals for the entire family. Stop by our stores on 1 Ethan Allen Highway in Ridgefield, 877 Post Road East in Westport, and at 110 Main Street in New Canaan, or visit us at skiandsport.net.
At the Milford Bank, we offer an extensive selection of lending products and services to meet virtually any need. Submit your application online in our Mortgage Web Center. Start to finish, you can apply for a loan in as little as 10 minutes. Our knowledgeable and helpful staff are available to meet with you at your convenience. To learn more about what we can do for you, stop by one of our Milford Bank offices or visit us at milfordbank.com. The Milford Bank, always there. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
I'm John Kovach. I'm a newspaper editor. I'm a high school football coach. I'm a television presenter. And I want you to love fishing as much as I do. Tune in to Yankee Fisherman, Thursdays at 1 on the HAN Network. It's like going to the tackle shop without leaving your office.
Welcome back to Nutmeg Sports on the HAN Network. We shift gears back to Thursday from last week now, and we look at the indoor track and field championships. Different sport, same result. The Danbury Hatters done ruling the winter season so far. They dominated 122-93 over Ridgefield in the girls' side, 130-71.5 over Staples in the boys. And from the first race of the day through the last, Danbury dominated the track, and that included in distance events, sprint events. They don't get as many points as you would expect in the field, but they didn't need them clearly, as their runners were far and away the best in both the girls and boys side of this event.
Yeah, and it's kind of unusual. You don't expect it, like the school that produces like sprinters to also come in with the distance runners. But yeah, if it takes place on the track, Danbury is going to be the favorite.
Let's take a look at some of the highlights from the track and field championships Thursday nights at the Floyd Little Athletic Center. As Leah is set to go. Attempt number 3 at 11.6. Underway. Up high up, and she got it. And well done. That ties the FCAC championship record on her 3rd attempt.
We got a clean start.
And Chiravali pulling away in
Wow.
the middle. Clean
Wow.
through them all and crossing the line. 8:69, the original time.
Not a particularly good start by Knight, but he's pulled
Making
ahead.
up for it there, pulling away. That's some finish at 7-9.
Wow. We got a clean start.
Close race all the
Very
way.
close.
Looked like it might have been Chiravali.
Yeah. Okay, we got a clean start. Still a decent number of Danbury athletes in there.
Looks like it might be Ferris.
He's the top returner in that event. He was fourth last year in 668.
Couple of looks at some of the events there that really stood out to us. Leah Zavataro, who's only been pole vaulting for 2 years. She was a swimmer originally, had to have major knee surgery, told she couldn't swim again. Put on such a show at the pole vault event done. Everyone else had finished well before her. She goes on, sets the meet record, and I thought it was really cool. While she had her final jump right in front of all the sprinters, everyone stopped for a moment and was applauding, which was a lot of fun to see.
You know, it is impressive because, I mean, the pole vault is such a complicated skill to master. And to do it in only 2 years and to do it at that high of a level, I mean, you're essentially, you know, you're sprinting and then balancing and then throwing a one-handed handstand on a 15-foot pole to get over the bar. Very impressive performance.
We mentioned how good Bridget Chiravali was all day. Do want to give a shout out to the Conley brothers from New Canaan, who were competing in the shot put against each other. Younger brother Jack ousting Will with a score of 46.25 to 46 flat for the championship. So the little brother finally takes over Will, but that was a fun one to watch. It was a great event all around. We look forward to seeing all those athletes competing at the state and open tournaments now. And let's shift gears quickly. We're running down a time here. Let's take a look at some of the hockey highlights. New Canaan in a little bit of a trap game on Saturday. They had rival Darien in town, but very easy for the Rams to get caught looking ahead to tomorrow's matchup against number 1 Ridgefield. Never the issue for New Canaan. They scored 43 seconds into this one and were dominant all the way through, knocking off the way for a second time this season.
How strange does that sound? Potential trap game for New Canaan playing Darien. You don't say that very often.
And I spoke with Coach Gore before the game, mentioning that to him, and I was like, this is a bit of an interesting situation because yes, it's Darien, but your boys could be caught looking ahead right now because the real showdown is with Ridgefield on Tuesday night.
I have a feeling that if New Canaan was 19-0 and Darien was 0-19, I think New Canaan would still come to play.
Yeah, should be a lot of fun. Let's take a look at the highlights from the Darien Ice House and New Canaan's 4-1 victory over Darien.
For the second time this year, it's installment number 2 of the Battle for Exit 37 as New Canaan and Darien head to the ice on the boys' side of play from the Darien Ice House.
If it's goalies losing track of rebounds that caused a lot of the scoring in the last matchup.
Here's McNabb, back to Granito, he shoots and scores! Heather Granito, the sophomore, kicks it off, 14-11 remaining.
Beautiful 2-on-1. Switch places, really looked very...
A score right there, answer on the other end. Cohen actually lost the puck in the slot, coming down the back wing. It was Romine who let a one-timer go, and he beats Windus, and we are tied at 1. On the 25 seconds, the Wave looking to go the length of the ice. But an errant pass here turned over. It's Granito again. Quick whistle, he scores! It is 2-1. Granito turns his second takeaway into his second goal of the night. Another heads-up play there from the Swede. Bad bounce again is adding out in front. Big save by Bumgarner. The rebound. They score.
I was about to say that I literally had forgotten that New Canaan was on the penalty kill. Well, now I can really forget it because they just scored shorthanded yet again. Other than that, I wouldn't be surprised to see the next goal come from the edge.
Rebound and they score. It's a turnover at the blue line. Gamble comes up with it, firing a pass.
Darien will fall to 5-8, 4-3 in the FCAC. And New Canaan, for the first in a while, post consecutive victories over the Darien Blue Wave.
Things that really stood out in that game, Don, the top two lines for the Rams, dominant again. They're getting scoring across the board from their top six players, which they really need. Special teams is going to be so key for the Rams, though, down the stretch. Another shorthanded goal as the power play and shorthanded units have been really strong all season long. For Darien, a much better effort this time around compared to the first game against New Canaan, but still trying to find that next level to compete with the top teams in the state. Yeah,
we've been saying it for most of the year that it was a down year for Darien. But this is the time when those young players need to step up. We're far enough into the season now that you're not really a young team anymore, particularly when you've gotten the experience and the ice time throughout the season so far. So a great win for New Canaan. I thought the passing was crisp, good goaltending, and that's going to get you a win almost all the time.
Biggest takeaway, without a doubt, though, there has not been a worse celebration all season long than the one from Gunnar Granito after that first goal. Can't even put it into words.
A minute into the game, and we're celebrating
right,
like
my
this.
goodness.
He was going to hoist the cup.
Like you were James White crossing the end line. Couple little final notes. Danbury Wrestling, a huge win over number 2 New Milford earlier this week. Third time in 3 weeks that the Hatters have knocked off a top 10 team in the state. This time the score 42-16. They've been so dominant in these win-twos, Don. It is very, very impressive as we get set to see them at FCX this weekend. And a big shout out to the Trumbull girls basketball team, the last remaining undefeated team in the state. They are now number 1 in the state polls after going 2-0 last week. So as we get into the FCX postseason, Don, no surprise to see all these FCX teams dominating across the state now.
It really isn't, and it was almost like the Danbury weekend. I mean, what competition did we go to this week that Danbury didn't win? Just a great performance all around by the Hatters.
Hatters own the day for now, but we'll see if that trend continues when we get wrestling later on this week. Wrestlebacks on Friday and the championship Saturday. Nothing tonight, but we've got 2 for you tomorrow. Girls basketball, Stanford at Ward at 7 o'clock. And, of course, number 1 and number 2, Bridgefield and New Canaan from the Darien Ice House. All that here on the HAN Network. We've got Coffee Break with Kate Chaplunski at 11 and The Drive with Denise at 12:30. For Donald Eng, I'm Frank Granito. We'll see you back here at 2 o'clock tomorrow on Nutmeg Sports.